To pass the time, I watch a lot of things on YouTube, regular YouTube, and it's a lot of the quote reality shows. Um, the ones where they're chasing a Bigfoot, the ones where maybe they've spotted a UFO. And I find those interesting and amusing. And it seems everybody has a story um, about having seen one or the other. Now, by definition, a UFO, anything that flies that you can't identify, daytime or nighttime, that's a UFO. It does not mean a flying saucer. Um, Now, Bigfoot, Sasquatch, Grassman in the county I used to live in, that's totally different, you know. So I thought, well, just for fun and amusement's sake, I would share my stories. Now, have I seen a UFO? Well, yeah, I saw something that I could not identify one night. Flying saucer, ET phoning home, I really doubt it. Um, as for Bigfoot, wow, it's like the story somebody sees a big black thing down a path and like, oh, there it is. And they take a picture. And upon closer investigation, they get up there and it's a huge stump or a rock or something. Misidentification a lot of times. A lot of folks wanting to see that, hoping to see that. So, it is what it is. So my story about Bigfoot, a friend of mine and I, here in Somerset a long time ago, his family lived out past the Somerset Cemetery. And you'd go out the road and drive down a ways, and they lived out there toward the country, pretty much outside of town. And we took a walk one day. Took just, guys take those hikes and walks. We're big wilderness people, And we took a walk, went through the woods and all this stuff, and kept going and going and going. And I remember those are, I want to say that's the sounds of wolves at bay, but not really. I mean, the background, it may look like I'm out in the wilderness somewhere in the camo mossy oak and that shirt, but that's just for effect. Boy, I gave it away there, didn't I? So, but anyway, we're walking and we eventually get to a point. We run into a fence line there in the woods. We run into this fence line, and we get right up to the fence line, and there's a clearing, an open space. But then the wood line carries on to our right, and we look up, and there had been bears every once in a while spotted over in that county, every county pretty much. Things that aren't supposed to be native to your county or your state. They don't stop at the county line, and they don't stop at the state line like, oh, we can't go to Ohio. You'd be surprised what you got. They travel. So we're up there, and we're kind of made it to the fence line debating, well, do we want to go further across the fence line, go into the field and all this? Go over here to the right, and then we look over to the right, and there was something black there right on the edge of the wood line that was moving. And it was like, oh. And there's something, we looked at it, we couldn't figure out what it was. Big. And it was black furry. And we both almost simultaneously got this feeling of like, let's get out of here. And we hightailed it back through the woods to his place. So what we saw, I'm not ever going to say it's a Bigfoot. It might have been a bear. That's the only two things that would have qualified. If it was one of those monster hogs they have down in Texas, perhaps, but it was something, we just had that sense that hit us at the same time, like, let's go quietly, and we skedaddled. That's an old word, skedaddle. So that's my Bigfoot story. And people share those stories, and they get on Bigfoot hunting and all these TV shows, and then they go out and investigate. Now my UFO story is a little bit more hard to explain. I was dating a girl a long time ago, sweet girl, nice family, over outside of Thornville. In fact, they were pretty much by the Thornport area. I lived out a road called Blackbird Lane, had a big property, had some horses there, and you go down Blackbird Lane, you pull into their driveway, and you had about 10, 15, 20 feet, and it was all fenced in because of the horses. And you had to get up and get out of the car and open the gate. So you get out and open the gate, you drive through, get through, close the gate. Got strange noises out here. Maybe a squirrel's going to help me tell this story. But anyway, so I pull up, okay, and I get out, open the gate. But when we're pulling up, it's nighttime. We were coming back from a date, and I was dropping her off. I just happened to look up, and I said, "Look at that!" And there was something that was fairly low in the sky with lights, and it was kind of stationary. And I thought, well, that's a helicopter. Problem is, the helicopter is not quiet. It's not like Blue Thunder or Airwolf, those two helicopters that could fly silently. You couldn't hear them. My helicopter, we can hear when one's coming to the hospital. We can hear it's way back there, and by the time it's over our house, it's just rattling windows and everything. So it wasn't a helicopter, at least not that we knew. So I get out, open the gate, kind of watching it, drive through, close the gate because you don't want the horses to get out, and drive up the lane, and it's still there. Now it's elevated a little higher up. I mean, before it looked like it was fairly close to the ground. Now this one was quiet though, but to the stationary way, it was there. A plane does this, okay? A plane doesn't so much do this. And get out of here, bug. That's what happens when you do these wilderness videos. You got to contend with nature and big wolves and bugs and bees and everything else trying to get you. So anyway, I get her up to the house. We look, and it was still kind of there. Went in and told her mom about it and her brother, I think, and we're like, wow, and all this stuff. And so we go out, and by that time it's gone, but it wasn't really moving fast. There was no noise. It was, I guess the word I want to use was stationary. It was hovering just there. And it was interesting because a helicopter, like I said, you're going to hear a helicopter. A plane does not just stop and it's there. So what it was, I don't know. To this day, and I won't say, I'll say UFO, but UFO and spaceship are not the same thing. Again, anything that's flying that you can't identify, you might as well say it's a UFO, because it is. Something's flying and I can't identify it. Well, you've got a UFO. That's just the reality of it. So, those are my two stories. Nothing exciting. Yeah, by the way, when I drove down the lane, had to get out the gate, I had that little foreboding feeling, it's like, is it there? Because that's back in the day of E.T. and, people were telling stories of space abduction and all these other things. And I wasn't scared so much. It was just like that weird feeling, like when you do walk through the woods and you're like, something's watching me. Yeah, well, in the woods, probably a lot of critters are. A lot of critters are probably out there keeping an eye on you. So if you've got a story, Bigfoot or UFO, share it. I mean, that's fun. I'll post this on YouTube, then I'll post it on my Facebook timeline. I should make people pay for this. I've got PayPal and I've got Cash App, so. But no, I won't. Anyway, you can share it on my Facebook timeline. I'm on there under Doug Allen. You can also find my email address. Send me an email. I'm not going to go investigating. I'm not going to call you. I'm not going to end up at your house and let's go out and do an investigation. Oh, there are 2 squirrels up there. That's what I'm hearing on the spouting. See, I wasn't hearing things. Mm-hmm. Do. Anyway, so everybody's got a story about, it seems like when you watched YouTube, regular YouTube, not YouTube TV, just regular YouTube, and everyone's got a story. Oh, I saw a Bigfoot out there. I'm sure it was a Bigfoot, or there was this thing up there hovering, and but it's not just the country folk that do it anymore. They got city people. You've got professors. You've got doctors, police officers. You've got educated people, city folks, and they're all having encounters. So every encounter has a story. That should be a song. Every encounter has a story. Tell me what one's yours. Okay, I won't sing. Just made this a fearful video. So anyway, I just thought I'd share that. A little bit of fun, different than my other posts. So, hey, what's your story?